Hello, hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Worthiness Codes podcast. I'm your host, Jaclyn Francis, and as always, it is so beautiful to be in this space with you today. If you're new here, the Worthiness Codes is all about empowering the feminine collective back home into their self-worth through a grounded yet spiritual lens. Each week, I will self-host an episode to share a topic that I think will help you on your spiritual journey while also inspiring you to tap more into your divine confidence and your innate self-worth. I also do guided meditations and light code transmissions so you can go deeper on your journey. So lots of exciting stuff going on within the podcast and outside of the podcast. And today is the first episode that will reflect those exciting things that are happening. I am launching a online program to share the Worthiness Codes blueprint that is an ascension blueprint with you all. But in the meantime, until that's up and running, go check out my Instagram profile. I uploaded a free guide to awaken self-trust. While I was building the online program, I interviewed a handful of women to help me with market research. And the number one thing I found was that every single one of them lacked self-trust, and they all found themselves getting in their own way to be able to do things that their inner knowing, that their intuition, that their heart were guiding them to do. Funny enough, my year-long ascension journey that I went through started with showing myself a very deep act of self-love, which allowed me to awaken my own self-trust so I could feel confident in my inner knowing to take the step that I needed to take that subconsciously started this whole ascension journey for me. So today's episode is going to be about just that. I am going to talk all about self-trust, what that means, and how powerful that energy is. And once it's awakened, how it can help you on your journey. So to just pause for a second, because I know I kind of just threw a lot of stuff at you. This blueprint is something that I've mentioned before, but to share a little bit more about it, because I think it's important to kind of have an overview before getting into this episode. I, a year ago, subconsciously embarked on a very deep inner ascension journey that included aspects of trust, surrender, needing to let go of certain things in my life that no longer served me, a very deep, potent healing journey, expansion into, ascension, a very beautiful rebirth where I'm embodying my authenticity. And now where I'm fully living in alignment to my worth and living from a place of unconditional love. And throughout this journey, I was given a blueprint. And that's a story for another time that I promise I will share with you guys. But this blueprint is the ascension journey. And this blueprint is here to guide you, to guide the feminine collective to getting to this place of divine worthiness, because we all came here with self-worth. We all came here with confidence. We all came here with unconditional love. But through our own journey, everyone's journey is different, but through our own experience in this human life, all of those aspects of self have gotten either completely lost or muddied a little bit. So this journey is all about guiding you back home to your divine power, your innate power that lives within you. Because once you get to that place, your life, something I can promise you because of my own experience, your life will forever change. You will be forever changed. I stand here today very much the same person I was, on a human level, but the way I look at myself, the way that I look at life, the way that I choose to live life is so very different. And it all started with being able to trust myself. Holding self-trust is the key part to being able to go on this journey of ascension. It's the key part in being able to do anything in your life, anything that your soul is guiding you towards. As a woman, you hold very deep inner knowing, very profound inner knowing, also known as intuition. This is a gift that we all hold. And as women, because we are nurturing, because we're emotional, because we're empathetic beings, we can tap into this intuition on a level that is truly profound. And I'm sure if you take a moment to reflect back to childhood or your adolescent days or even your adulthood, I'm sure you all have had a moment where your intuition has spoken to you, where that inner voice or that gut instinct has been very prevalent. And either you chose to listen to it or you didn't. And if you didn't, that's okay. I can't even count the amount of times where I wish I listened to my inner knowing, but I didn't because of fear or because of limiting beliefs or because, of outside people giving their opinions. I chose that not listening to my own inner knowing would be better. And there have been so many times where I've said, "Oh, I just should have listened to myself. I wish I listened to myself." But no more. I have realized that self-trust is my life's biggest lesson. It is said that we come here with one major life lesson that we're meant to learn. And of course, there are many life lessons that we're meant to learn, but this biggest life lesson is your most repeated pattern. And this pattern will feel almost impossible to break because it's meant to cause deep eternal change within your soul. And for me, not trusting myself has been my biggest pattern. And the first time I realized this was last year when I had the inner knowing to walk away from the relationship I was in. And as women, I'm sure you can all relate to this, that we typically stay in relationships longer than we should because we have that gut feeling, we have that inner knowing. Our intuition tells us ahead of time that maybe this isn't the right relationship for us. But because we're comfortable or because, a fear or being alone or, outside circumstances, whatever it is, we choose to not listen to that inner knowing and oftentimes stay in a relationship much longer than we should. For me, the same thing. I was in this relationship a lot longer than I should have been. And though it was a beautiful relationship, my ex-partner was a great man. It doesn't mean that it was the relationship that was right for me. It wasn't the love that I desired. It wasn't where my destiny was meant to take me in this lifetime. And so the more that I went on my spiritual journey, the more prevalent that inner knowing became. And I knew that if I were to walk away from this relationship, my life would be forever different. And I didn't know how. I didn't know what that looked like. It was just this feeling that I had. And finally, something happened where the universe showed me as clear as day within my relationship that I had to walk away. And I said yes to myself. I said yes to my inner knowing. And in a sense, I blindly trusted it because I don't think in my life I ever did something this drastic. I was 32 years old at the time, just shy of turning 33. I was in a relationship with a man I literally thought I was going to marry, someone who just bought us a beautiful new home in Los Angeles. And I didn't want to start over. I was terrified to start over, but I knew it was what I had to do. So I sat with it all. I sat with that inner knowing, and I felt this deep sense of peace, this deep sense of calm, this deep sense of this is what I was supposed to do. So I walked away. And that act of walking away, the way I look at it is it was this very deep act of self-love. And because I showed myself that very deep act of self-love to walk away from something as hard as it was, as scary as it was not in alignment to my divine worth. It wasn't what my heart wanted, my soul wanted. It wasn't part of my highest timeline and the highest version of self. So to honor all of that, to honor my higher self, to honor my soul and my heart is a profound act of self-love. Anytime you do something that honors those deep desires, that honors those deep aspects of self that are asking you to awaken, it's a really powerful act of self-love. And what I saw was that self-love is the root to awaken self-trust. Because again, showing myself this very deep act of self-love set me on a journey that forever changed my life. It set me on a journey where I saw how powerful trust is. Because trust is tied to your intuition, to your inner knowing. And when you can awaken that trust, you can feel confidence in always listening to your inner knowing, always trusting your inner voice, your inner navigation system. You can always trust it. And simultaneously, trusting yourself is also trusting the universe. So within, so without, right? Your inner reality reflects your outer world, your outer reality. So what I saw was that by doing this, by leaving my relationship, leaving my home, 2 months later, I received my new home, my beautiful new apartment, and I received it in such a magical way where it was a gift from the universe. And that was the validation that I think my human ego needed to allow me to then leave my career, leave my steady income, to not have any income, to go on this journey. I didn't know why I had to leave. I just knew I had to leave. And almost a year later, today, almost a year later, to be just very transparent and vulnerable with you guys, have not received income. I have solely been living off my savings. But again, I hold this trust within myself because I trust my inner knowing. I trust the universe that I am being divinely guided, and that with this divine guidance will also come divine support. And I know that like no other. And as crazy as that sounds to so many people, trust me, I know it's me holding that self-trust because I know that I have to. And not so much have to, I want to reframe that. It's because I am worthy of it. I am worthy of living life in the way that I deeply desire. I am worthy living out my mission. And I trust in that. You don't have to do anything. I don't have to do anything, right? But I am worthy of doing what I deeply desire. And I know I will be supported because all is in alignment to receive whatever comes from all of this. So if you're sitting here and this is resonating with you, if you've been through something similar, or maybe you're being called to go through something similar, whether that's leaving a relationship, starting a business, moving cities, whatever that looks like, it starts with you being able to trust yourself to take that first step. If you're feeling your intuition speak to you, if you're feeling your inner knowing bubbling up to surface, and the way that this will speak to you is through very strong, decisive inner communication. It doesn't feel chaotic. It doesn't feel urgent. It's soft, but it's powerful. That's your intuition speaking to you. And what I found on my own journey is the more that you ignore your inner knowing, the louder she will become if it's something that your soul really wants you to do. So, though she can be loud, use your discernment to know if that's your ego or your intuition. And your ego will typically speak to you through those lower vibrational aspects of like anxiety, fear, those sorts of energies. Whereas your inner knowing and your intuition will be more positive, more high vibrational, always rooted in love, always rooted in light, always rooted in supportive, positive aspects. So if this sounds like you, or maybe it doesn't yet, but at some point, if you're listening to these episodes and you're finding yourself becoming more open or more intrigued by spiritual awakenings, by spiritual concepts, or just wanting to go deeper to get to know yourself more, or wanting to explore your confidence and awaken a deeper sense of self-worth, this active self-trust is most likely going to present itself to you. And so, an easy technique that I can give you to start deepening or awakening your connection to self-trust, so you can then feel confident in your inner knowing, is through unconditional self-love. And what that means, I know I filmed a podcast episode. I don't know the episode number, but there's an episode within the Worthiness Codes, if you just go to the page, that's about self-love. It's a beautiful episode. I filmed it like right after a medicine journey. So the wisdom that came through was really, really beautiful. So I suggest listening to that. But there are a few ways that you can tap into self-love. And the first is by implementing a self-love practice, which is different than self-care. Self-care is typically through, physical facials, massages, getting your hair done, nails done, spending time in nature, just really nourishing your physical body. Self-love is more of like a deeply rooted, energetic form of care, form of love. And what you can do is sit with yourself in a meditative state is what I suggest. You don't have to. You can do it upon, waking up in the morning or before going to bed. But I love to create almost like a ceremony out of this, because when you make things into a ceremony, the energy behind it just heightens and becomes a lot more potent. And it's so beautiful to be able to create little ceremonies throughout your day, little rituals throughout your day, because it allows you to take a step back from all of the chaos that's in your field and really just drop into your heart space. So sit with yourself and embrace yourself in a hug, and start taking really slow breaths, closing your eyes, inhales and exhales, and opening up a container, an energetic container for love. Here, just set the intention to drop into the energy of unconditional love, to tap into that frequency. And as you're embracing your body, embracing yourself in a hug, literally feel your heart space expand. If you are a seer, envision a green light around your auric field, a green light opening up through your chest, through your heart space, and just breathe into that energy and hug yourself. And then I always love to take myself out of the embrace when I feel ready, and I just put this huge smile on my face. And at first, when I started this, it felt a little forced because I've never done this before. And I was like, this is a little silly. But the more that I do this, the more authentic it is, because the energy is part of me and I live in the frequency of unconditional love. So if you're feeling a little uneasy or weird at first, that's okay. It might feel forced, but the more you do it and the more you really drop into the energy and you see how this is transformative, the more natural it will become. But I like to just close my eyes and put my hands on my face, and just touch my face with a smile and say, I love you. And I literally move my hands down every part of my body, my chest, giving love to my heart, my arms, touching your arms because they are an extension of your heart, literally feels amazing. Especially when you go get a massage, if you haven't been touched in a while, when the masseuse massages your arms. I mean, it might just be me, I don't know, but like it feels so good. It's because your arms are an extension of your heart. So energetically, it's really powerful. So just squeezing your arms, your wrists, your hands, and just moving down your stomach, your womb, especially your womb, to spend time in your womb space. There's so much energy. Your womb is a portal, literally. That's how we give birth. So spending time on your womb, spending time in your stomach. For me personally, I hold a lot of stress in my stomach. If I'm ever stressed or feeling uneasy about something, I always feel it in my stomach. So I love to give extra love there. Plus, on a physical level, I'm most insecure when it comes to like body parts. I'm most insecure about my stomach. So I always love to give extra love to my stomach because she doesn't deserve to hear that I wish she was skinnier or smaller or any of that nonsense. So touching your stomach, moving down your legs, even touching your yoni, like just touching it and giving love to it, giving love to her, and moving down your legs, your calves, your feet, your ankles, your hair, all parts of you, slowly just touching yourself and sending the energy of unconditional love. It's a beautiful daily ritual that you can do. You can do it in the shower. You can do it in bed. Or like I said, you can make it a ceremony, make it a ritual, light a candle and incense, put some essential oils on your hands and get to it. Get to showing yourself so much beautiful love because you are love. We are literally all beings of love. And truly to heal this world, to heal the human collective and humanity as a whole on a worldwide scale, on a planetary scale, if we were able to just unconditionally love, that would heal everything. But we're not there yet. It's okay. But if you start with you, you're also helping move that into the collective because we're all connected, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing, and this goes a lot deeper. This part of self-love is tied into the part on your ascension journey where you do the deep inner work, where you heal trauma from your own life, from other timelines, from your ancestral lineage. But this is the part where you choose to love yourself unconditionally. You choose to love every version of self, past, present, future, unconditionally. And this can be hard for people because we all have trauma. We all have been through experiences where we may not love ourselves fully for it. And whatever that looks like, just know that you hold the power to choose to love yourself, to choose to forgive yourself for maybe a decision that you made that you weren't happy about and you're still holding on to it, or you're still holding on to resentment of self in some way, or you're holding on to shame and guilt. Shame is the lowest vibrational frequency a person can hold. And women hold a lot of shame. Naturally, we hold a lot of shame. And it might not be from this lifetime. It might not even belong to us, but we hold a lot of shame. So to allow those energies to go and to choose. Yes, this journey takes a lot of inner work. It takes a lot of deep soul digging. It takes a lot of transmuting energy and healing and shedding. It takes a lot of time in the darkness, but it doesn't have to. It truly doesn't have to. The reason it does is because we have to clear out what's in the ego mind. We have to clear out what's in the human mind to get us from point A to point B. But in the simplest form, you hold the power to look at a situation that you may be feeling some type of way about and choosing to not subscribe to that narrative anymore. It's that simple. It's that simple. Think of a situation, an experience that you went through where maybe you hold guilt or maybe you hold shame. And every time you think about that experience, you feel the energies of guilt and shame bubbling to surface. To choose to unsubscribe from those energies, to unsubscribe from that narrative, and to allow yourself to shift into a place of unconditional love is so incredibly easy. Once you allow yourself to do that, once you give yourself permission to do that. But most of the time, you have to heal the root cause of all the energy that's getting in the way of the unconditional love. So give yourself permission to sit and to choose to love all versions of yourself. Journal, meditate, heal, whatever you feel called to do to get you to this place, know that you hold the power to do it. And the Ascension Blueprint will, help guide you through all of these layers of the journey. But this is something that you're able to do on your own. And you can just sit and look at that version of self that you might be holding resentment towards and just send her love, forgive her, send her love. A beautiful prayer forgiveness is called Ho'oponopono. I know I share this in past episodes, but it's so powerful. If you have to forgive a past version of self for whatever it is to be able to show her unconditional love, use the prayer. Send forgiveness from her to you, from you to her, whatever it looks like for you. But move into the energy of unconditional love. And through that, through truly being able to love yourself, you will see how self-trust starts to awaken within you. You will be able to feel the shift, how you can start to trust yourself more and more. And one of the practices that you can do to really start putting your self-trust to use is a daily practice of choosing to do something that allows you to trust yourself. And it can be really small. If you're going through something in your life and maybe you're the type of person that picks up the phone, and this was me, I would call my mom for everything. My mom's my best friend. I love her to death, but I've chosen that I always want to sit with myself first before seeking outside validation, outside opinions, outside guidance, because I know that I should be able to trust myself. And these are the things, seeking outside validation, outside approval, outside opinions, that always led me to saying, oh, I wish I just listened to myself. Oh, I wish I trusted myself from the very beginning. And that's no one else's fault, right? The people in your life that you typically go to seek outside opinions and support from, they give it to you and you want it because there's so much love there and you trust them. And it's so beautiful. But it takes away from your power, because you should always start from going within. Always start from going within, because at the end of the day, other people's opinions don't matter. Your opinion, your truth matters. So instead of picking up the phone and calling your mom or your sister or your best friend or even your boyfriend or husband, sit with yourself. Seek inner counsel. No more outside counsel. We go within. Okay? So this can be difficult, especially as women. We love to talk about what's going on in our life. We love to seek guidance. We love to gossip. We love to spill the tea, right? We love to do that. And it doesn't mean that you can't. But if you're really working on building self-trust, this is the biggest thing that you can start implementing, is to seek your own inner counsel. So if there's something that you're going through in life, sit with it on your own instead of asking others for guidance, and see what comes up for you. and then take one small step every day or every week that allows you to take the aligned action to eventually trust yourself, whatever situation it is. I mean, this can be literally as small as choosing what to have for dinner. I know this is something we all struggle with. Being able to pick a restaurant, being able to choose what we want for dinner, especially if you're in a relationship. It's always a topic of conversation, right? Make your own decision. This might sound silly, but if you practice intuitive eating, your body will tell you what she wants. Your mind is not supposed to tell you what you're craving. Your body literally lets you know what foods you need to eat because food is medicine and you need to nourish your body. So if you can listen to the intelligence of your body to guide you into what you want to eat, that's a form of inner knowing. That's a form of following that inner knowing to then trust yourself, right? Something so small, but doing that and then seeing the validation where, oh, I'm fulfilled. I feel really good after eating that. That's the validation your ego needs to enhance the confidence to be able to follow your inner knowing more and more. So you can start small, but you hold the power within you. Self-trust is an aspect of self that is innate. We all come here trusting ourselves. And like I said, we all come here, especially as women, with such a deep, profound sense of intuition. And once you go on this journey and once you awaken more and more and peel back the layers of your soul and really step into the remembrance of all that you are and fully embody it on an authentic level, you will see just how profound your intuition is. There is no more hiding from it. So I hope that was helpful. For further support, make sure you check out the guide. Follow me at Jaclyn Francis on Instagram so you can see when it's launched. It's a really in-depth guide. I'm really excited to share it. There's journal prompts. Some of the tools I shared today are written out more in depth. So I think it would be really, really helpful for you if this is something that you feel called to awaken within you. And I sit here today fully, fully in my trust. As I said at the start of this episode, this was my biggest life lesson. And maybe it's not your biggest life lesson for you, but it's probably a lesson to trust yourself. It's probably a lesson. And I finally was able to break through this not that long ago. It was in, I think, Bali or Thailand on my trip. I didn't trust myself with something, and I literally saw how inconvenienced I was, how much inconvenience I caused my human from not listening to myself to the point where it was so ridiculous and all I could do was laugh. That's in that moment was when I said no more, and I fully broke through it. I fully broke through it. And now I trust myself. And that's why I'm so adamant on my journey. And I'm so adamant on following that inner knowing in everything that I'm creating and everything that I do in life and everything that I know I desire and am is because I trust myself. And I will never change that, especially for anyone else, because I love myself unconditionally and she comes first. Her desires, her prayers come first. I fully live to honor my higher self, to make all versions of my inner child so proud. That's what I live for. So know that you can get to that place too. But the first step to start this journey, to start your business, to start that creative project, to leave that relationship, to move cross country, whatever it is, the first step comes from being able to trust your inner knowing, to trust yourself, to feel confident in your inner knowing. So, yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all that wants to be shared right now. But I am so proud of you. The fact that you're listening to an episode about how to awaken self-trust says so much. It says that there is something deep within you that is asking you to trust yourself. There's something that wants to be awakened. You're not here just because. You're here because your soul guided you here. As silly as that sounds, nothing is a coincidence. You don't feel called to listening to a podcast episode for no reason, especially these types of episodes. So know that there is something deep within you waiting to be awakened, and know that you are worth all of it. You are worth all of it. Trust yourself. Give yourself permission. Accept the invitation. This is an invitation. This episode is an invitation. Accept this invitation and give yourself permission to either awaken or deepen your connection to self-trust, to activate your inner knowing, to become more familiar with how she speaks to you, and take one small aligned action every day or every week, depending on what it is that you're working through, to tap into this energy of trust, which will allow you to see how the universe will validate your inner knowing for you, which will allow you to deeply trust the universe, because the universe is here to support you. And remember to send unconditional love to yourself, past, present, and future. And you can always ask if you're feeling uncertain about taking aligned action on following that intuitive knowing, that inner knowing. Ask the universe to show you signs, to show you synchronicities. I shared on the last episode of Signs and Synchronicities a profound experience I had, and the universe delivered. I have mentioned multiple times working with the light beings, the serendipities. These light beings are here to literally show you the magic of signs and synchronicities. So if you're feeling uncertain, ask the universe for support, ask your angels, ask your team, ask your guides, ask your higher self, whatever resonates with you. Ask for support, ask for validation through signs and synchronicities. And yeah. Whew, I'm excited for you, but I hope this deeply resonated. I hope you're feeling hopeful, and I hope you're feeling supported. I love you. I love you. I love you. Until next time. Bye.